In the last presentation, we understood what is Chinese remainder theorem and we have seen solved example number 1 in Chinese remainder theorem. In this presentation, we will solve another example in Chinese remainder theorem. As usual, let's start the session with the outcomes. Upon the completion of the session, the learner will be able to, outcome number 1, we will understand the working of Chinese remainder theorem with an example. In the last example, we have taken the question which is direct, but here we will see a different example. Before diving into the question, let's revisit what is Chinese remainder theorem. When we are given with a different set of congruent equations where we are going to find the common variable x, but we have different moduli m1, m2 up to mn. Only one condition, these moduli should be relatively prime. If this is the case, then we can easily find the common variable x. How? Using this formula, x is equal to a1 capital M1 inverse plus a2 capital M2 inverse up to plus an capital MN inverse mod capital M. If we have 3 equations, we will take 3 parts. If we have 4 equations, we will take 4 parts. It depends upon the question. Let's dive into example number 2 now. The question is, solve the following equations using Chinese remainder theorem. The equations are 4x is congruent to 5 mod 9 and 2x is congruent to 6 mod 20. We are required to solve these two congruent equations and we are required to find the value of x. In the last example we have solved, we are given with the question which is directly x is congruent to. But here this is 4x and this is 2x. So a small trick is applied on the question here. No worries, we will break the trick first and then we will proceed with solving these congruent equations. Let's break the trick now. So we are going to rewrite the question as follows. We have 2 equations, right? So I'm going to take 2 columns. Let me place the first equation here and let me place the second equation here. So here we want to make it as x is congruent to something mod 9. Here we are going to rewrite it as x is congruent to something mod 20. So if you want to make here x, what we need to do? We need to multiply by 4 inverse, right? Is it okay to multiply 4 inverse only on one side? No, that will affect the equation. So we are going to multiply 4 inverse on both the sides. So when we multiply by 4 inverse on both the sides, we get the equation as this side 4 inverse into 4x, which is this. Then 4 inverse multiplied by 5, which is this, mod 9. So 4 inverse into 4, obviously it gets nullified, we get x. But here we need to solve this 4 inverse. So as mentioned, this side we get x. This side we have 4 inverse into 5 mod 9. So we are required to find what is 4 inverse mod 9. Because this mod 9 is applicable for 4 inverse as well. So we are going to find the multiplicative inverse of 4 mod 9. We will start applying with 1. 4 into 1 is 4. 4 mod 9 is 4, not 1. Because when a multiplicative inverse, when it is multiplied with that number, we should get 1 as the remainder. But in this case, 1 is not the multiplicative inverse. Let's try with 2. 2 into 4 is 8. When 8 is divided by 9, we get 8 as the remainder, not 1. Let's try 3. 4 into 3 is 12. 12 mod 9 is 3. Let's try 4. 4 into 4 is 16. 16 mod 9, we get 7. Let's try 5. 4 into 5 is 20. 20 mod 9 we get 2. Let's try 6. 6 into 4 is 24. 24 mod 9. What we will get? We get 6, right? So let's try 7. 4 into 7 is 28. 28 when it is divided by 9, we get 1 as the remainder. So we are going to find the multiplicative inverse of 4 mod 9. You can manually try this or you can refer my previous lecture to find out the multiplicative inverse using extended Euclidean algorithm. 7 is the multiplicative inverse of 4. So 4 into 7 is 28. 28 mod 9. 28 when it is divided by 9 we get 1 as the remainder. So 7 is the multiplicative inverse of 4 mod 9. Then we have this 5 mod 9 here. I'm just retaining this here. We get 7 into 5 mod 9. What is 7 into 5? It is 35. So 35 mod 9 is the answer. If you want, you can still reduce this, right? 35 when it is divided by 9, we get 8 as the remainder. You can take either this or this. I always recommend you to go for smaller numbers. So 35 mod 9 can be reduced as 8 mod 9. Just divide 35 by 9. 9 3 times 27 and the remainder is 8. So we are reducing this as x is congruent to 8 mod 9. But this side it's so simple. Why? Because here we have 2. Here also we have a number that can be divisible by 2. So we can rewrite the 6 as 2 into 3, right? So 2x is congruent to 2 into 3 mod 20. When we divide by 2 on both the sides, we get x is congruent to 3 mod 20. So we got the equations now. So these two equations can be rewritten as x is congruent to 8 mod 9 and x is congruent to 3 mod 20. Let's solve this question using these two congruent equations. Now we have simplified the question in the format x is congruent to a1 mod m1 and x is congruent to a2 mod m2. Please note here we have only two different congruent equations. Let's solve this question now. In order to find the value of x, we know the formula is x is equal to a1 capital M1 inverse plus a2 capital M2 inverse. That's it. Why I'm stopping up to 2? Because we have two equations. Mod m. Now what are all the given data? We can easily find the given data. We have only two congruent equations. So I'm just comparing the equation with the question. So what's the given data? a1 is 8 and a2 is 3. So a1 is equal to 8, a2 is equal to 3. And small m1 is 9 and small m2 is 20. So 9 and 20 are placed in the places m1 and m2 respectively. Let's solve this question by finding out capital M1, capital M2, their corresponding inverses, and then capital M. Firstly, let's focus on finding the capital M value. We know capital M is the product of small m1 and small m2. So m is equal to m1 into m2. Please note these are small m. So when you apply the values, we get 9 into 20. So 9 into 20 is 180. So we found out the value of capital M, which is 180. Let's now move on to finding capital M1 and capital M2. We know how to find this. Capital M1 is equal to capital M upon small m1. Because we are going to find capital M1, so we need to use this value, right? So capital M1 is equal to capital M upon small m1 and capital M2 is equal to capital M upon small m2. If you are directly watching this lecture, I request you to watch my previous lecture solved example 1 so that you will get a better insight about Chinese remainder theorem and how to solve this. So when we substitute the values, we get capital M1 is equal to 20 and capital M2 is equal to 9. So we found out the value of capital M1 and capital M2. I am just placing this in the table. Now the only thing that is required is to find the inverses, that is M1 inverse and M2 inverse. Let's find that. We know how to find M1 inverse and M2 inverse. When capital M1 is multiplied by capital M1 inverse, we get 1 as the remainder when we do mod small m1, right, which is this. So capital M1, when it is multiplied by capital M1 inverse, we get 1 as the remainder under mod small m1. Similarly, capital M2, when it is multiplied by capital M2 inverse, we get 1 mod small m2. We know what is the value of capital M1 and capital M2. So firstly, let's focus on this equation. We get 20 into capital M1 inverse is equal to 1 mod 9. Because small m1 is 9, which is this. So 20 into what we get, the whole product when it is divided by 9, we get 1 as the remainder. Let's start applying with 1. You can also go for extended Euclidean algorithm to find the multiplicative inverse. Since these are all smaller numbers, I am going directly. Let's try with 1. 20 into 1 is 20. 20 when it is divided by 9, we get 2 as the remainder. So 1 is not the multiplicative inverse of 20 mod 9. Let's try 2. 20 into 2 is 40. No, we don't get 1 as the remainder when we divide 40 by 9. Let's try 3. No. Let's try 4. No. Let's try 5. Yes. 20 into 5 is 100. 100 when it is divided by 9. 9 11 times 99. So we get 1 as the remainder. So obviously capital M1 inverse is 5. That's what we obtained. Let's move on to the second part, which is this. We know what is the value of capital M2, which is 9. So I am placing this 9 here. And we know what is small m2, which is 20 here. So 9 into what, we will get 1 as the remainder when it is divided by 20. So let's try with 1. No. 2. No. 3. No. 4. No. 5. No. 6. No. 7. No. 8. No. 9. 9 into 9 is 81. 81 when it is divided by 20. 24 times 80, we get the remainder 1. So capital M2 inverse is 9. We found out the value of capital M1 inverse and capital M2 inverse. Let's place the values in the table. So we have found out all the values that are required to solve this problem. So let's take this value and place it here. Let's take the question. You can take either the original question or the rewritten question. Anyway, the final answer remains the same. Here I will take the rewritten question. So we are required to find x is congruent to 8 mod 9 and x is congruent to 3 mod 20. And we know the value for x can be obtained using this formula. We have all the required values on the table. So when we substitute the values, when we evaluate this expression, we get 1043 mod 180. Why 180? Because this is mod m, which is 180. So when we evaluate this, we get 143 as the value of x. It means 1043 when it is divided by 180, we get 143. When 143 when it is divided by 9, we get 8 as the remainder, and 143 when it is divided by 20, we get 3 as the remainder. So we have verified the final result also. So we have found out x is equal to 143. Before we sign out, let's see the homework question. The question is, solve the following equations using CRT. The equations are x is congruent to 5 mod 3, x is congruent to 2 mod 5, and x is congruent to 1 mod 11. Please note here 3, 5, 11 are relatively prime to each other. Hence, there exists a unique solution for this question. I request you to solve this question and post your answers in the comment section. And that's it, guys. I hope now you understood the working of Chinese remainder theorem with an example. I'll see you in the next presentation and thank you for watching.